Hey everybody, welcome. This is Euro Maestro scoping live here in Paris, and we're about to go on a little walk in the rain on this early Sunday morning, and then with a little bit of luck, we will follow it up with a trip to the Eiffel Tower, and maybe with a little bit of luck, we will see the sunrise at the Eiffel Tower. So it really just depends on how much cloud coverage there is. It seems like there's not a lot of cloud coverage, so maybe we'll get a nice sunrise today, finally, at the Eiffel Tower. If not, we should have some sun later this week. Maybe Wednesday or Thursday. I see a few people joining. Thanks for the likes, by the way. Don't forget to hit the like button. That is awesome. And I'm just curious, since you guys are here in about 20 seconds. Hey, Nancy Cruz, good to see you. In about 20 seconds, want to see if a card pops up over here. So we will give it a second. If not, hey, beautiful colors. Aren't the colors great? So right about now, you should see right here actually, we should see a card. Was there a card there? Or maybe it's only available in the replay. Not really sure how it works. On a live stream, did you guys see a card where my finger was? Or we're gonna have to wait for the replay. So anyways, my name is Euro Maestro, and I do live streaming from Paris and around the world. No card was there. Tweety Kid, good to see you, by the way. You've been leaving some great comments. Jackie Girl says, no, 6 a.m. It is 6 a.m. in Paris. So Paris, for the next 2 weeks, will be about 5 hours ahead of New York City time instead of 6 hours, because North America went on summertime, and we don't go until summertime till the 25th of March, I guess. So there we are. So anyways, we're on the way to the river, but I thought we would pass by before we go to the river. Thought it would be fun to pass by the George Pompidou Center here. Even though it's late at night, we can see the George Pompidou Center, Beaubourg as we call it here in Paris. All right, there it is. And that funky tube thing you're seeing there is actually a escalator, which is on the exterior of the building. So the escalator is on the exterior of the building. Everything is on the exterior of the building. All right, let's go down. Let's go down these narrow medieval streets and work our way over to the river. All is quiet now. It is pretty quiet. There's a few. Oh, let me show you this thing that we have in the square, which is kind of interesting. Am I cold? It's not that cold. It's gotten a lot warmer the last couple of days. Look at this interesting sculpture they put up here. You have two men on top of these boxes. One is a man standing, and the other is a man seated. So there you go. And then after the river, we will go to the Eiffel Tower. And I will show you a fun way to get to the Eiffel Tower. Of course, an easy way to get to the Eiffel Tower is to take the metro. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a bus, because it's a little bit more scenic and it's still pretty quick. So I will show you guys a bus route to take to the Eiffel Tower. And then, if we're lucky, we should arrive at the Eiffel Tower just as the sun rises. So I can see it's partly cloudy. I don't know if you can see the lighting. There's some blue sky up there. So you see the streets, cobblestone streets, pedestrian streets. So you won't see car traffic on these streets. And we pass by this amazing church along the way. This is the Church of Saint Marie. Oh, there's somebody on a park bench. relaxing, chillaxing on this. What is today? Sunday? Is it Sunday? Saturday or Sunday? I think it's Sunday. It's Sunday. Oh yeah, of course it's Sunday. Because you guys went on summertime. This Sunday morning. But look at this church. Pretty cool looking church. Hey, Euro, Chris is here. Good early morning. It is really early. Yeah, it's really peaceful. That's one of the nice things about taking an early morning walk is it's very peaceful. Gives you some time to meditate, get your thoughts in order before the world gets crazy. Oh, we got a Haagen-Dazs here. Is that a Haagen-Dazs? Huh. Wait, no it isn't. I don't know why I thought it was, but it's not. I was gonna say, because we do have one over in near Saint Michel. I didn't think we'd have another one. Oh, but that's a chocolate place. Just as good, maybe better. Chocolate. So this street here, you can see, is filled with all kinds of restaurants. And there's a boulangerie. Of course, lots of food. We like our food. So I want to thank you guys for joining my live stream yesterday. It did fairly well. So it seems to be bringing people to the channel. So I'm going to I think I'm going to experiment with this. And if it continues to be successful, I think I will do a daily YouTube live. But I got to try different times of the day to see what time works best for you guys. I know this is probably not the best time, at least not for the North Americans. From a distance, the logo looked, it did. I thought it was Haagen-Dazs. Do you have plans for Easter later this month, Euro? I can tell you, I didn't even know it was Easter later this month. So no, I didn't have plans. But I should probably make some plans. Maybe we should go to, maybe I'll go to one of the castles in the Loire Valley. Or maybe I should go to Mont Saint-Michel. You know, we haven't done a scope from there. Or do a YouTube live from there. That might be fun. You don't think anything is open? Phil is here in the house. Hello, Phil. Good to see you. Yeah, I think you're right. Nothing is open. But we're going to just do a little scenic tour while we're here. I'm going to pass by the City Hall while we're here. What time is it in Paris? It is early morning. It is 6 a.m. or a little after 6 a.m. And then I'm going to do a second scope or second YouTube live broadcast after this one. So this one we're going to basically walk along the river. And then the next one at 7 o'clock, I'm going to take a bus ride over to the Eiffel Tower. What time does the sun rise? So the sun rises, I believe today it's 7:11 a.m. 7:11 a.m. But what that means in practical terms is it'll start getting lighter much earlier. There's actually there are a couple other people on the street, but not very many. There's some workers doing something or other over there. So wait a second. Did somebody just do a super chat? I missed it. There it is. Tweety Kid. Yes, I love that. Awesome. Thank you so much. Super chat in the house. You didn't leave a comment with it, but that's okay. We see it's a super chat. So yeah, if you guys want to contribute to the channel, you can do that in the live chat. There's a little $sign, and you can leave $1, you can leave $2, $5, €1, €2, €5. Hey Edward, good to see you. So I'll tell you, that makes a big difference. It really does. So yesterday we got $5, which basically paid for the broadcast, I would say. Nice motion. Thank you. You are welcome. So I appreciate that. And if we get enough contributions, I will go to Mont Saint-Michel, which, if you haven't seen it, is gorgeous. It is really, really beautiful. So what do we have over here? We have, I guess it's hard to see, it's so dark, but it'll get lighter soon. We have the City Hall. Can you guys make it out there, even in this darkness? And there's a little carousel. We have these carousels all over Paris. And they're just like this typically, 2-story carousels. They have an upstairs and a downstairs. You can ride on either level, which is always fun. And there is the... Yeah, so you may notice that the video should be relatively smooth, and that is thanks to a stabilizer that I purchased last year, and it definitely makes for a lot of smoother. It's light enough. Okay, awesome. Well, it should get really light very soon, because it gets light, I think, typically about a half an hour or so before the sunrise. Street lamps are gorgeous, aren't they? Really nice. It's beautiful. Yay! So we still have a little bit of flooding, not as bad as we had 2 months ago, but still elevated levels, still impacting boat traffic. I wonder if you can see the sky there. The sky's really nice. Still impacting boat traffic. My train station is still closed for another month. What's the name of the stabilizer? What brand? So I'm using the Osmo Mobile, which is a really nice one. It's a little expensive. Was a little expensive, I should say, because I think it's about 350 to 400 euros. But Osmo released a new one this year, the Osmo Mobile 2, which is very inexpensive. It's only like 139 euros or something. It is still winter here, yeah, when we're still on winter time. We're not on summertime in Europe until, I believe, March 25th. Chris did the research. So we are sticking to the traditional summertime schedule, and the Americans are on a accelerated summertime schedule. Of course, the whole idea of summertime is a little suspect, somewhat bogus, as it's not entirely clear that there are really any savings, certainly not any significant savings, and it causes a lot of troubles. Do you periscope much anymore? I still periscope. You're in summertime. Yeah, in the States, North America, I think US and Canada is on summertime. Not sure anybody else is. So let's cross the street. We're starting to see some traffic. A few cars on there. Oh, look at this. This is gonna be awesome. I think you're gonna see the river here, and you're gonna see some nice reflections in the water there. And it doesn't look quite as fast as it has been the last few days. So this is one of the nicest things about the river walk, is to see all those reflections in the water. And what you're looking at actually is you're looking at 2 islands. We have 2 islands in the river. There's this island over here called Île Saint-Louis, and this island over here called Île de la Cité. And it's the island that houses Notre Dame. So, wow. Yeah, it's quite a sight. And of course you can walk. See this road here? You see this road down here? So this road is only for pedestrians. So there's no cars on this road. There are bicycles, skateboarders, joggers, but no cars, no motorcycles. So it's a nice, peaceful run if you want to take a jog or a walk on the street there. Should we go over to the island? Love the reflections. Yeah, I love the reflections too. And I mean, it's so dark, it's hard for you to see, but there's just amazing architecture all around us. The conciergerie. You can see all the different bridges. There's 37 bridges that cross this river. And from this location, we can probably see 1, 2, 3, 4, maybe 5 of them. Okay, let's walk across this bridge and go onto the island. So you can see the flooding right there because there's steps. These are steps that go down to the river. So you can see the section that connects them is still flooded. So you probably don't want to walk down those steps. Which is pretty amazing because the flood happened in January, right? So this flood was 2 months ago, and it's still elevated. Good morning, Joy Anthony in the house. So, if you guys, do you guys see, like, I don't know, I guess you don't see the statistics. Like, do you see statistics here? Or do you just see a blank screen? And here we have the rental cars. These are electric cars. This is part of our car sharing program right here. So you can pick up one of these cars. And there's a fun car. Blank. Oh, it's blank for you guys. Well, what I have on my screen is a little reminder about the super chat contribution. You don't see stats. Oh, okay. Yeah, I guess that makes sense. So if you're just joining, you can contribute to the channel through the super chat program, where you can leave kind of like a tip, and you can leave any amount you want, $1, $2, $100, whatever you want. And look what we have down here, guys. These are the steps. So we're gonna walk down these steps carefully because we don't want to fall. And I think you will see. You remember now when you put in your feet in the water? Yeah, exactly. So I think you can see that it is really flooded still. The stats are just for me. Yeah, look at that. It's actually pretty high, this flood still, because look, can you see that that's all water after the step? And there we go, $1.99. Ooh, special, thank you. Love your YouTube lives and Periscope. Thanks for your all. Thank you, Jackie Crow. Really appreciate that. So look at, I just laugh when I see this flood, because this is a 2-month-old flood. And look at that. So I don't want to go any further because I don't want to fall in. But can you see that there's actually another, whatever you call these things, underwater there? And then, of course, everything else is underwater. And it's pretty high. Like, if I were to try to walk over those steps, it looks to me like it's you'd be at least waist deep. So it's not just like a little bit of a flood. It's got to be at least a meter or more higher than it's supposed to be. So you would get really wet. It's not like just getting your feet wet. You would get your waist wet. So don't worry, I'm not going to go in. I have no intention of getting wet at this time of the morning. You're a morning person, aren't you? Actually, not really. I'm more of a night person. But I do enjoy the morning hours. So, and there we have a wonderful view of the Hotel de Ville. You can see the rest of the wall. Yeah, so that's part of the retaining wall that's underwater. And so you'd have to swim instead of going across. So this flood dates from January. Does YouTube take a percentage of the money? They do, apparently. I think they take 30%, which is the same cut that Google takes, and it's the same cut that Apple takes. So pretty much everybody takes 30%, unfortunately. The only way to avoid that is PayPal, which charges the contributor a small percentage. I would never have guessed with these early streams. Yeah, that's true. I should do more late night streams. I'm still trying to figure out when the best time to broadcast is, but I think it's late afternoon. All right. It's starting to get a little lighter. We can see the buildings are lit up, of course, that helps. It only let me send down not an even number. Yeah, I don't know, that's odd. That's odd. Probably is late afternoon. Yeah, probably late afternoon. We'll have to do a late afternoon one day to see, especially on the weekends should be good. So let's go down these cobblestone streets I was telling you about. You don't get much traffic or any traffic. And this is one of the few neighborhoods in Paris that still has these medieval streets. So you can see cobblestone winding. It's great for films. Getting into his car. A big car. Somebody asked me about parking. Look how much space between the cars. Sometimes a lot less. Sometimes they're actually touching. I think we'll probably can show you some parked cars here where they're very close. Not parking for the faint of heart. This looks so cool. It's like a mystery suspense. I know, isn't it? Let's see how much space. Well, this guy gave him a few centimeters. This is not the worst area. The worst area is over by where I live, where they're all touching. Touching in the front and touching in the back. So, kind of a challenge to get out. You'd never be able to park there. Yeah. I mean, you have to get into really tight spaces. So the best thing is to grab the last spot on the block, and then you don't have to worry as much. And what do we have here? We've got Notre Dame Cathedral with all its gargoyles. Have any of the Bourne movies been done around there? You know, I'm not sure. I have to find out. Yesterday I did a YouTube live broadcast where we went to film locations in Paris for 2 different movies. One called The Dreamers, and the other called Midnight in Paris. A smart car would be nice to have in Paris. Yeah, we have a lot of smart cars, and then, like I said, you don't have to even own them. because we've got these electric cars for rent. So this is the side of Notre Dame. So usually you guys always see Notre Dame from the front. I saw it. I didn't know those movies. Ah, okay. You don't know Midnight in Paris? You should see it. It's a Woody Allen film. And a lot of people like it. Very nice. So there's a little garden next to Notre Dame, or behind Notre Dame. You probably can't see it because it's so dark, but these are the bells of Notre Dame. So they have some of the old bells here. I guess they got replaced on the outside that you can look at. And the dustmen are out. So the dustmen are out. They get out very early and they start sweeping everything up. Here's the park. It's going to be closed, of course, at this time in the morning, but you can see it there. So we're up pretty early because you don't usually see these guys. They work late at night and early in the morning, sweeping everything up so that we see a nice clean street in the morning. There he's picking stuff up from the street. Hey Euro, this is such a treat. I'm glad you're enjoying it. We're gonna go around to the front of Notre Dame. I don't know if it's lit up. Hopefully it'll be lit up, but might not be at this time in the morning. So this is an island. I used to live on this island. I used to have an apartment. No, I'm not tired yet. I used to have an apartment over here, right next to Notre Dame Cathedral, overlooking. I was up kind of high, so I had a view of the river, and I had a view of the church, and I had a view of the garden behind the church. So it was quite nice. And it was a fairly big apartment by Parisian standards. Just a little over 200 square meters. So not a small apartment like most Parisian apartments. I was not scoping then. That was before Periscope even existed. Why did you move? That one I was forced out because the owner decided to sell the apartment. So we have pretty strict laws in Paris. And once you become a renter, it's pretty hard to, I mean, basically you have a right to stay in the apartment. As long as you're paying rent, you can basically stay in the apartment as long as you want. However, there are some exceptions, and one of them is if the owner wants to sell the apartment. No, that's another island. This is Île de la Cité, which has Notre Dame Cathedral. There are even cases when the owner sells the apartment that you have the right to stay in the apartment. And he sells basically he sells the apartment with the lease to you, to the new owner. So even when they sell it, sometimes you can stay. Mainly, if you want to get somebody out, you have to move back into the apartment yourself. So it's not an easy feat. So the laws for the most part favor the tenants. So we're looking at Notre Dame Cathedral here, and you can see the beautiful facade. Even in the dark, I think you can make out some of the architectural detail. Morning, Euro. Richard Wooding's here. I'm watching you on my TV. Well, Richard, you'll have to tell me, what is the quality like? So Richard is from South Africa, and he is a developer there. Lovely. Yeah, isn't it awesome? So Richard, I've been doing live stream on Periscope, Twitter's live streaming application, but lately I've been switching over to YouTube, or trying to do more YouTube since the video quality is better. What about exploring Marseille someday? Yeah, we'll have to definitely do that. It does come through well, even in the dark. The quality is in 1080p HD. That's awesome. That's good. That's good to know. So again, cobblestone streets, everything's pedestrian. You got the great architecture. Oh, it's good quality on TV. Awesome. So I'm gonna give you guys a chance to earn 10 points. If somebody can tell me, there's a statue here. There's a man on a horse on this statue. Who is this a statue of? The quality is great now. Oh, awesome. Who is this a statue of? I can tell you, he is the enemy of French school children because he is accused of creating schools. Charlemagne. Yes. So Charlemagne, it is said, created schools. And there's a very famous song, very old song now. I think it's from the 60s, maybe from the 50s even, about Charlemagne, but a fun song. And the school children complain about him for causing us to go to school all day. The mean guy, Charlemagne. So, Emperor of Europe, basically, before it was split up. That's news to you. Yeah, you should check out the song. Linda Locino. I wish I could just play the song now so you guys can hear it, but listen to it afterwards if you get a chance. It's called Charlemagne, and it's a fun, fast-paced song. The sky's beautiful. Now the sky, yes! This is what I was saying. The best time to see the sky is actually just before the sunrise. And you start seeing these like amazing colors in the sky. As long as it's not completely covered. You assume it's really in French. It's a French song. I don't even think there's an English translation. Not that I know of, at least. But yeah, it's a fun French song. So yeah, we're starting to see some nice colors in the sky. And for those of you that don't know this, underneath Notre Dame, there is a crypt. There's an archaeological crypt. So there's entrances here and in the back where you can go underground. It is like a painting, isn't it? So we can see the sky finally getting some color. And here's the proof that it's a river. Because after all this, I mean, it's an island. Of course it's a river. Here's the proof that it's an island because we see the river once again. Is it free to get in the underground part? No, I think there is a charge. There's a charge for the crypt. There's a charge for most things. You can get into the church for free. But even inside the church, for instance, there's a museum. And you have to pay for the museum inside the church. It's not very much. It's like €5, I think. Something like that. But it has a lot of relics, if you're into relics. So what are the relics that we have in Notre Dame Cathedral? We have the true cross. We have the crown of thorns. And we have the clothes that Jesus wore to the Last Supper and through the crucifixion. So all of those relics are stored inside Notre Dame. True cross, oh well, I should say a piece of the true cross, the crown of thorns, and Jesus' clothes from the Last Supper onwards. Now we're seeing some fun colors in the sky. What about the Pont des Arts, where lovers hang their locks? Is it still there? I heard it collapsed. So the bridge is still there. It's not that the bridge collapsed. What happened was these railings, the support collapsed in a couple of sections. So they removed all of the locks. So there are no more locks on the Pont des Arts. The sky looks cool. Yeah, it does look kind of cool. Look at that. Somebody needs to screenshot this. Notre Dame looks so ominous with those colors. This looks like it could be in some kind of horror film or something. Yeah. The whole sky is lighting up. Everything is getting so much nicer. You can't screenshot your Apple TV. Apple needs to work on that. That would be a nice feature. Looks like a scene from a horror film. Yeah, that's what it looks like. We could make our own. We should make our own Periscope-based horror film. Actually, somebody was supposed to do that in the first year of Periscope. I don't know if they ever did it. But somebody was supposedly going to make a horror film on Periscope. And this guy had a lot of models based signed up for the film. You should always take a photograph of it. The sky's a fantastic shade of blue at this hour. Yeah, I'm really digging the colors in the sky. I mean, look at that right there. That's just such an amazing, I don't know what it comes across on the screen, but it's a pretty amazing blue from here. It's like a whole variety of colors. This part right here is my favorite. Got more cobblestone streets. And we have a Paris institution here, which is Shakespeare and Company. Looks great on the television. Oh, awesome. We also have what's called a Wallace fountain. So we have dozens of these all over Paris. It's kind of hard to see in the darkness, but it's a very ornate fountain. Let's see. Try to go around it. I guess you can't see it yet. You should be able to see it in about 20 minutes, I guess. But it's a very ornate fountain. And we have these all over Paris. And then we have Shakespeare and Company. So it's an English language bookstore here in Paris. So if any of you guys know Robin was supposed to be in Paris today, but she got bumped for her flight, so she'll probably be in Paris tomorrow, unless she gets bumped again. This is the fun part of walking through Paris. So we have the oldest tree in Paris over here. It's about 400 years old through the trees there. And then we have this really old church that you can see here, even before Gothic architecture. Sometimes the streets remind you of a Van Gogh painting or a Van Gogh painting. Yes. Somebody forgot their bike there. Actually, yes, well, there's two bikes there. So this first bike belongs to somebody, and that second bike is a bicycle share. So, and somebody left their motorcycle parked right in front of the church. But anyways, you can see this Romanesque style of architecture that existed and was used before Gothic architecture. And so Gothic architecture had some architectural innovations, namely the flying buttress, which allowed the weight to be distributed, which allowed the, you can see a contrast because there you've got a Gothic church, okay, Notre Dame, and then you have this church here. And because of those flying buttresses, they were able to build walls much higher. So the buildings could go higher, and you could get bigger stained glass windows, and you could get more light in the church. With this type of structure and these types of arches, you can't build the walls very high because the walls need to get thicker and thicker to support the weight, and you need bigger foundations, so you're limited basically. And you can't have big windows, and you can't get a lot of light into the building. So you can see why Gothic architecture gone very quickly. Interestingly enough, the reason it's called Gothic is it was a pejorative term referencing the Goths. But today we hold it in high esteem. Now this is street here. This looks right out of a movie set. Winding cobblestone streets. We could definitely shoot a film here. Reminds you of Poissy City. Ah. And what do we have over here? Speaking of horror films, the Rocky Horror Picture Show. Every Friday with the No Good Kids, and every Saturday with the Deadly Stings. And sometimes on Thursdays, and before holidays with the Burden of Quirk. Like those names. Wow, look at that color. What do you guys think of that? I don't even need to do any editing. This street is principally a pedestrian. The cross street has cars. The connection is good. What ISP are you using? So I'm using a company called Bouygues right now. We're gonna cross the street here. Those are all maintenance vehicles. Those are all different types of vehicles cleaning the streets. That's the noise you can hear. Getting the streets clean. Again, we got these narrow streets, pedestrian of course, and this area is filled with too much work to do. Yeah, you think about it, every single day, so much cleaning has to be done to keep a city clean. You can see the trash is all out here. Has not been picked up yet. And you can see all kinds of different foods here from countries all around the world. It's 7:51, but very bright out in Cape Town. Ah, interesting. So you guys are an hour ahead of us. How is that possible? I thought you guys were on the same time as us. Are you guys on summertime? No, you can't be on summertime. I'm so confused. I thought you guys were on the same time as Paris. We are GMT plus 2. Paris is GMT plus 1. Oh! Okay, it's because we're only on the same time when we're on summertime. That's why. So in the summer months, we're at the same time when we go an hour ahead. Look at those colors. Somebody should screenshot this. Raclette, crepes, hotel. I love the colors. Love, love, love the colors. Richard taking back his message. That's one thing I like about the YouTube comments, is you can take comments back, you can edit them, you can get them erased. I can delete abusive comments. True moderation. So again, this area here, most of the streets are pedestrian streets. Olga's here. Hey Olga, good to see you. We're walking around Paris here just prior to sunrise, and we can see some amazing colors in the sky. All kinds of interesting blues. I didn't know you could take comments back. Yeah, you can take your comments back, and the broadcaster has the ability to remove comments, which is really important, because if you're doing a serious broadcast, let's say you're doing a broadcast for a company or some official purpose, you want to be able to have some control over those comments, which you don't have on Periscope. So the rubbish men are all here getting stuff together. It is getting much, much brighter now. You can see the buildings. And you can see all these pedestrian streets. You can see a beautiful blue sky. And you have these buildings that come to a nice corner here, like this one, kind of like the Flatiron Building in New York. At their coffee shop, cafes open at 7, there are shops open at 7. Across the street in this neighborhood, we have 24-hour cafes. So if you really need a place, you can come to the 24-hour cafe. Thank you, Euro. I really enjoyed watching. I have to go. I'm working night shift. All right, Acid Pro, thanks for stopping in. We might have a real sunrise today. Really pretty sunrise at the Eiffel Tower. Very nice, as they say. A little bit of light rain this morning. Nothing too serious. You can barely feel it. That'll be nice. Yeah, I think it's gonna happen. I have a high degree of confidence. It's the middle of the night here in Guatemala. I was waiting for your scope. Oh, Nancy, nice. I'm gonna try to start scheduling my YouTube lives more and more in advance, so eventually you guys will know ahead of time what time I'm scoping. And YouTube, you know what? YouTube has this feature. If you're looking at a scheduled live stream on the person's channel, there's a reminder button. You can click set reminder, and then YouTube will remind you when that goes live. So that's a pretty neat feature. Here we're approaching the Odeon. Sushi, I know, I'm a big fan of sushi. Actually, I like sashimi. The street lights just went off, guys. No more street lights. We're now dealing with just natural lighting. Wouldn't we get anyone when you go live? I'm not sure what the advantage of the reminder is. What was that question? Is this near where the Van Gogh Cafe Terrace Plastiforum at night painting was done? Oh, I'm not sure. I'm gonna have to look into that. That was a nice little river walk today. I appreciate you guys joining me on this little walk. I may do this every day. Not necessarily the same walk, but an early morning scope. I think I want to do an early morning scope, a late night scope, and then a mid-afternoon scope, if I can get my act together. Or broadcast, I should say. And what time is it? It's almost 7 o'clock in Paris. So in 15 minutes, I'm starting a new broadcast, which will be a bus ride to the Eiffel Tower. So if you want to catch that, join me in 15 minutes, 7:15 Paris time. And I'm going to catch a bus that goes to the Eiffel Tower, and we're going to try to catch the sunrise at the Eiffel Tower. So for those that want to stay, I'll see you guys in 15 minutes. Thank you guys so much. Don't forget to share on Facebook and Twitter. Invite your friends. Scope. Yeah, I know. I keep saying scope. I gotta say broadcast. All right. Thank you guys so much. And see you guys real soon. Bye.